Everyone, hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful week. It is now Erev Shabbos Parshas Re'eh, and I wanted to share a quick thought about the Daf Yomi. We just had the privilege and schus of just being Messiah a couple of days ago, Daf Yomi Masechet Shabbos, and now we've moved on to Eruvin. And I started the Daf in Seder Kodshim. That's a story in and of itself, which is not for now. But I introduced into the yeshiva when we started Brachos. We started the Daf Yomi, and I thought maybe we'd start with a big bang. It was a big energy to start off, and we had 22 guys. And then I figured by the time Brachos was over, we'd be down to 10. And maybe of those 10, maybe 6 would start Masechet Shabbos, and those who would finish Shabbos, and then the pandemic and Corona, and so who's going to keep that up? But to my utter amazement and the power of Daf Yomi and the beauty of Daf Yomi is we started with Maseches Brachos, and no one dropped, and then Shabbos continued, and despite all of the challenges and long-distance learning and the like, but so many of the boys who started Maseches Shabbos, started Maseches Brachos, were just Messiah Maseches Shabbos. What an amazing accomplishment, what amazing power that the Daf Yomi has, and I see it. I'm on vacation now for 2 days, but no matter what, Tisha B'Av, we just commemorated Tisha B'Av, and the Daf continues. It's a daily mechayev. It's hard, it's a daily grind, but nevertheless, it just keeps coming at you, and it keeps setting up for you a mechayev, and I think that's a very fundamental idea. So one of the things we saw Masechet Shabbos over and over again, probably more than any other malacha, if you think about the 39 malachas that are discussed, so very little you find details on the malachos. It's striking. There's a parak that's about the Yisur Bishul, but that's the Yisur Drabanan of Bishul. Parak here is about the Yisur Drabanan. Bamet Tomnin is an Yisur Drabanan. The Dil Raisa is a blot or two, not much. You have Eluk Sharm, the Yisur Kosher, is a parak, but it's a couple of pages, not much. Makle Patish, very little. Boner, which is such an important malacha, such a detailed malacha, not so much, very little. The one malacha that you have constantly repeating itself over and over in the Masechet is the malacha of Hotzah. And Hotzah is over and over again. The Masechet opens up with Yitzios HaShabbos, and just it comes up constantly. The first parak is about Meleches Hotzah. Parak HaZorek is about Meleches Hotzah. Other prakim as well. Bameh Behema Yotze, Bameh Isha Yotzas. There's so much about Meleches Hotzah. Why the predominance of Hotzah? So Tosas asked this question at the beginning of the Masechet. Why does Masechet open with Hotzah? And Tosas gives a very fundamental answer. And he says when it comes to all the malachos, we take an object of some kind and we do some kind of creative act on the object, and we transform the object, we move the object, we develop the object. There's a tikkun that is done to the object. Food is raw, now it's cooked. A building is unbuilt, now it's built. It's untied, now it's tied. It's unplowed, now it's plowed. It's mixed with bad and good, now it has only good in it. There's a constant tikkun of an object. Hotzah is not that way. The object was in one rishus, now it's in another rishus. Nothing has fundamentally changed in the object, just its locale, and says Tosas, therefore that's called a malacha garua. It's a weaker malacha. It's a tremendous chiddush. It's a much more abstract malacha, and it tells us something very fundamental in hashkafa, that your location, where you are, matters a great deal. It is a fundamental difference when you are in a private domain surrounded by mechitzos, so that's one domain. And that's one jurisdiction, one mode of operation when you're in your private domain. When you move into a public domain, a rishus harab, a thoroughfare, it's a totally different sphere. Yes, there's something fundamentally different. And there's a hashkafic idea there as well. Nothing's happened to the object, but its surroundings have changed. Those surroundings make all the difference in the world. Yes, we are different in our homes, and we are different when we're at work. We're different in the public sphere. And that's something to keep in mind. That's something very fundamental. I heard once from Rav Yonasan Sachs Shlita another idea, and that is that Chazal tell us in the Zohar that Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, created the world with the 39 malachos. He used the 39 malachos to create the world, and Kiviyachol, on the 7th day, he rested from those 39 malachos. Well, there's one malacha that he couldn't use to create the world, that is not really possible, and that is the malacha of Hotzah. Why not? What's different about Hotzah? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, is Hamakom. Hashem, as Chabad teaches us, is here, there, and everywhere. He is everywhere. There's no place, there's no makom that is out of his rishus. Hashem's rishus permeates everything, and therefore the idea of Hotzah, removing something from one rishus and moving it into another rishus, is absolutely impossible when it comes to Hashem. There's no such thing. And therefore, Hotzah is a unique malacha. It's a malacha garua. It's different than all the other malachos. And perhaps, again, these are drushy ideas, but that highlight the uniqueness of Masechah Shabbos, the uniqueness of Meleches Hotzah, and to understand always that your place is significant. It's a chiddush. But maybe there is a shinui in chayfetz, a shinui in the person. When he's in the public sphere versus the private sphere, there's a functional difference. There's a difference in functionality, there's a difference in approach. And that too is called a significant act. It's called a shinui, and therefore warrants a malacha status. So perhaps again, as we close Masechah Shabbos, Hadranach Masechah Shabbos, we move into Masechah Erev, which is of course also about Hotzah. So these are some thoughts, musings that I had this week. Have a wonderful, wonderful Shabbos Kodesh.